Okay, folks, once a month, the financial quarterback, you see him, Jim Lineweaver joins us to discuss financial strategies to have you set for your retirement. But today he's here to introduce something a little different, Stump the Quarterback, where you submit your questions to Jim and he'll answer them right here. Stump the Quarterback. So, boy, I had a tough time with the names today.
You did,
like
yes.
Stump, Join, John, whatever. So I tell you what, that was complicated for me right now. But when I start thinking about my 401k and how to deal with distribution and taxes and all that sort of thing, you know, there's no one answer for that. So this sounds like it might be a good thing for Stump the Quarterback.
It is, because in this scenario, we had a client that had come to us and they're looking to retire and roll their money out to a self-directed IRA. But there's a little caveat in there for people that work for a publicly traded company. They could take advantage of something called Net Unrealized Appreciation, where if you have company stock in the 401k, you want to handle that totally different than just a straight rollover.
So if you try to cash in that stock to use it just as money, it's going to cost you different than if you do it a different way.
Yeah, exactly. So what ends up happening, let's say you have $300,000 in company stock in your 401k. And normally if you roll that to an IRA and you take it out, you're going to be taxed at your personal income rate. However, with company stock, they'll let you know what you paid into that stock over the last, 20, 30 years. So let's say you paid $100,000 in, it's worth $300,000. If you roll that out, and not to an IRA, but totally out of the plan, you're going to pay personal income taxes on the first $100,000, and the remaining $200,000, if it's done correctly, could be at the lower capital gain rate.
So
Okay?
you hear about that all the time, capital gains, and I'm always thinking like, oh, that's more expensive, less expensive. I didn't even know that. But here you could save how much money?
In this one, quite a bit. So the highest marginal bracket's about 37%. The highest capital gain rate's about 20%.
17%.
Half, but almost half of that.
Yeah.
So in this case, we saved the client over $34,000 just by transitioning it correctly, and Mark helped us do some pro formas in order to make sure we did everything correctly.
Here's one I really like too, Stump the Quarterback. That's what you want to remember here. He's the quarterback. Here's the stumper of a question. Somebody's building an addition on their house. They got a bunch of money in their IRA or whatever. They got some money. They got the $100,000. $100,000 is going to be. Yeah. But there are ways you can do it. It's going to cost you less money.
Right. So this is another example of a client that came to us and said, I want to put this addition on the house. And what we did, all they want to do is take the money out of the IRA. Well, we say, well, let's take another look at that. Let's take a step back. And this is where we also did some pro formas on the tax side, because if you just took all the money out of the IRA, they were going to be jumping up a bracket, paying more taxes on their Social Security, and their Medicare premiums were going to jump up. And that was going to be an additional $5,000 just for the Medicare premiums alone.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just these little tiny moves that the quarterback knows, the financial quarterback knows that, you don't know. You think you got the money, I'll just pay it.
Yeah.
But in the end, it ends up costing you more money than you had to spend.
Yeah, so in this scenario, we took about a third of it out of the IRA, and the other portion we worked with a local bank in order to get them a loan for the balance. And then what we're doing is we're taking money off of their non-IRA assets, the interest and dividends, and that's going to be used to pay back that loan over time. So we kept their bracket the same. We eliminated the additional taxes on the Social Security, and they didn't have to pay any additional Medicare premiums.
Hey, so somebody out there now, they're not a client of yours right now, but they're hearing this right now about, Stump the Quarterback, the $100,000 addition, that sort of thing. Can they come to you and get some advice and then see what kind of relationship they want to build with you?
Exactly, they can. So they can submit their questions right to our website, lineweaver.net, and you'll see it on the lower right-hand side that we'll be able to answer any questions that they have, and we might even bring it to our show on Sundays. But also, if anybody just has a question or wants a second opinion, we'd be happy to provide that for them.
So this would be a great subject for the show on Sunday because people, different audience in the morning, Sunday morning, just before Fox News, they get to watch this and maybe figure out a way to save some money and improve their lifestyle too.
Exactly.
So that's great, folks. So, hey, head to lineweaver.net to ask your questions today. And don't miss the financial quarterback leading into Fox News on Sunday. That's Stump the Quarterback, and it is Jim Lineweaver, not John.
Exactly.
What was happening there?
I have no idea. Have some more coffee.